Well, I lived in Middleton first, and that wasn't low income, so that's why I moved. If I was living back where I used to, it would be 3/4 of my Social Security would be for housing. And I wouldn't have enough for food and phone or electric. And it's not like the elderly people that are looking for a home haven't worked through their lives. They're not freeloaders. They have worked and they just don't have the money now to provide their living. And just look around. When you go to the store or you go out somewhere, look around and see how many elderly there are. It's growing fast, and we got to get ahead of it.
Most low-income households are working households, and they don't earn enough to have a decent quality place to live, where they can raise their family and in a safe and stable neighborhood.
So we've been together 11 years. I work for Jersey Mike Subs in Middleton. I'm the assistant manager.
And I work at American Girl in Middleton. I've been there 3 years.
We've noticed in the last 20 years that in many places across the country, housing costs have gone up much faster than people's incomes. And that puts pressure on their ability to spend money for other things.
It took us a long time to find some place that was affordable, that was nice. We didn't have a car before we moved here. I mean, everything we did was by cab, by walking, or, trying to get rides from people.
The apartment that we're living in is good, it's affordable. We're able to save a lot of money staying here because they take care of the property. We want to be here, saved us a lot of money, and where we were able to afford daycare for our son. Whoa, did you like that? We were able to afford food. Believe it or not, food's expensive, so we're able to keep food in the refrigerator. We're able to go to work. Here it gives us reassurance that we're good, we're safe, we feel like a family.
We're really talking not just about making stable housing for families, but it helps to strengthen neighborhoods and strengthen our schools and stabilize our employment base.
Having employees that can live closer in to the plant is a big benefit to us. We know there's a gap in the community for affordable housing, so we're working on projects in conjunction with businesses and the city of Sun Prairie to provide affordable workforce housing.
So workforce housing is really housing that is priced to meet the needs of the workforce that you have in an area.
Tight labor market kind of forces us as a company to look outside of our general area, and it's difficult to recruit employees to want to come to work here at our plant and have to have a 40 to 45 minute to an hour commute. I believe if workforce housing is not available, it increases the turnover rate.
For many households who live far away from work, they may feel like they're saving money on their housing, but they're really spending a lot of time and money on gas and on travel. And it means that if their car breaks down, either they have to pay for their car or pay for their rent. So they might lose their job or they might lose their house. When we have developers building new apartments that are affordable, it creates construction jobs, it creates additional jobs as people spend their money in the community.
The City of Middleton had a workforce housing committee that said we want 295 units of affordable housing over a certain time period. Having that roadmap is key for developers to know what the communities want so that they can bring the projects forward that the community is already asking for. I think the economic impact is huge. We took a vacant bowling alley on 2 acres and built a $16 million project. The city recognizes this increase in taxes while at the same time providing units at this huge range of affordability. Meadowridge Middleton has 76 out of 95 units that are affordable, ranging in income levels from 30% to 60% of the area median income. We've got units targeted for veterans, we've got units targeted for people that have disabilities and require supportive services. So, these projects really throw a wide, diverse net for a tenant base, which really creates, I think, personally, a better apartment community. You don't look at this building and say, hey, that's got to be an affordable housing project. And this is is as nice as any market rate housing project.
To fix the housing gap, we need a sustained partnership across all sectors. So for employers, that can mean helping their employees to find housing. For cities, it can mean spending money or helping to approve more apartment construction or development of affordable housing. And really, for the banking and financial sector, it means financing and funding these projects.
And this is the best apartment that we've had.
It's like our own private little community where you're getting to know your neighbors so you can actually look out for your neighbors too.
I have a sign that says everyone needs a little place to call home. And I think it's so true. We don't ask for a mansion. We just ask for a little place to live.
This was your idea?
The film was not my idea.
But the material was put together well, so.
The production company must have done a really good job to make me sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Good job.
Well, I noticed they didn't copy exactly what you said, so maybe, you know.
There's a lot of editing.
Yeah, right. And this band, is that a relative of yours?
Oh, yeah.
Pam, is Jeff any relation?
Jeff is not directly related.
Indirectly?
I didn't know Jeff existed until the housing summit back in May.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's nice to know
Jacob's also in the film.
Yes, Jacob's here.
Yeah, good job.
Do you work in this area as part of your profession, or is it something?
Yes.
Okay, so that's part of your background.
It's one of the things I teach.
Okay.
Is housing.
Okay, well, good job, everyone. So we'll move on to the design review for signage. Stonefield subdivision identification sign, corner of North Dam and Stonefield Road. Mark.
The applicant, Jeff Solner, is here in case you have any questions. What he's proposing to do is replace an existing sign with a two-sided 30-square-foot sign. It would remain on private property, but there are easements located there, utility easements, and so we have a modified staff recommendation to approve the sign design with a understanding that the sign may need to be removed if, for access, to provide access to the utility as necessary. I don't remember the exact phrasing, but we have some phrasing along those lines.
So moved.
Second.
Any
It's in the
questions?
same place it was before.
Yeah, I don't know what the reason is for changing it out. Maybe
So one is just they want a two-sided sign instead of a single-sided, and the sign goes up on the hill. Someone actually vandalized it too, so it's all smashed up, and it's been up there for 15 years plus, so they want to clean it up. And again, just one more step that they do like this one, they'd like to put next year another one on Woodgate and Gammon, and also on Old Middleton and Stonefield. It'll be the same look, so they have 3 entrances coming in. So that'll be coming up maybe for 4 or 5 months.
So who's they?
The neighborhood organization of Stonefield.
Do they have problems finding it? Do they need
No, I just want to.
3 different signs?
It'll be the same look each one, just 3 different entrances coming in.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll consult the sign code for compliance.
Well, and the reason this is before you specifically, we have language in the sign code that specifically says subdivision identification signs are reviewed by the plan commission.
Yeah.
Well, the new sign does look very clean, fresh, so I think nothing wrong with that. Any other
Why is
questions?
there chicken there?
The rooster.
It's a rooster?
There was a farm, original farm.
Oh, is it a farm?
Yeah, thought it's a roof.
It's a rooster?
They're called Rooster Run.
Yeah, there's Rooster Run.
So,
So
Everybody's got their neighborhood animal.
That's right.
Any other questions? Well, the motion is approved, the sign, so all those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? So the motion passes unanimously. Wow, go and get the sign now.
Have a good Christmas.
Thanks.
Okay, so the next one is SIP modification and design review for signage, Sun Nuclear Corporation,
This is the
76 and Discovery.
Right, this is the former Gamex. This is the Gamex site, now they're called Sun Nuclear Corporation. Ryan Signs is seeking permission to replace the monument sign, actually using the existing base, and put a new sign. I think it's the same dimensions, isn't it? A little smaller. And then 3 directional informational signs.
Move approval.
Second.
Any questions?
Looks good.
Well, it's shorter SNC, so. So you combine 2 different companies, right? So is that how SNC Sun Nuclear came about?
I'm not sure I'm going to accurately answer this question. I believe Sun Nuclear bought Gamex.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They're based out of Florida.
Okay. Well, the motion is approved to sign for SNC. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you so much. Thanks for that video. That was awesome. I appreciate it.
Okay, so the next one is SIP modification and design review for signage for Embrace Wellness, 1809 Murphy Drive, Mark.
The sign company is Alpha Graphics, but I think you were here with the business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so to answer any questions, it's basically 2 40.5 square foot signs, one on the south facade, one on the north facade. Same sign, just 2 different facades. It's very close to what our sign code formula allows, so as a PDD, there's some discretion to deviate from that formula a little bit, and it's within that range. So we recommend that you embrace the sign design.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
What? I missed.
No, it's okay, I see.
There's Joe.
You made a motion.
Don't make him repeat
See,
it.
that's why you need the editors.
No kidding.
Any discussion? Okay, well, if there's no more discussion or no discussion, then I'm going to call all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So the motion passes. So
Thank
the
you very
next one
much.
is, okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
So the next one is a design review for package modification and signage for Weed and Sprout at 6641 University Avenue.
Applicant Roger Bird is here with you to answer any questions you have. He's the spokesperson tonight. Middleton Cycle has closed and they bought the business. Wheel and Sprocket is a franchise. They have a lot of stores in the Fox Valley and Milwaukee area. And so I did originally talk with them about whether the bicycle was going to remain part of the design or whether it could, and he gave a good answer, which is it's a dated style and it doesn't convey all that they do. So they are planning to put a new skin on the facade, update it to reflect their corporate identity, their brand, and incorporate signage, 32 square feet of signage.
Move approval.
Second.
Could I just say that I was around when we put that bike on the building and we all thought it was so cool, so
Yeah.
that comment makes me feel.
I know, me too.
Well, I loved it. I mean,
Well, it was cool at the time.
Cool at the time.
It still is cool, isn't
It's still
it?
cool.
I tell you, we're getting a great company.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
And the 3 young people who run that are fabulous.
Thank you.
Great.
It's going to be a big difference to the biking community.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
So,
Have you
say
decided?
hi to them all.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Dennis already seemed to know some of them.
Yeah.
Have you decided on concept 1 or concept 2 for the 9-hole thing?
We're gonna do concept 2, which is the black.
Yeah.
The black. You have the.
Or there's a white or a black version of that pole sign.
Oh, yes.
That's existing.
Much
Oh,
better.
We're gonna do
yeah.
the dark and that.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to comment on that.
But that's not illuminated, is it? The sign?
It is illuminated.
Internally illuminated?
Yes.
The current sign is also, right?
Yeah, we're not making any change to the size or the sign, we're just putting the new brand in there.
So now in your letter, you say you put a partial sheet metal package and exterior design. So are you changing some of that metal there, or is that?
No, there's a metal skin that we're gonna install over top of the bicycle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it should be shown in that picture.
So it's a lot cheaper doing that way. So.
Yeah.
That'll look nice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks good to me. So.
So it just goes over the top, you say?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess that's so Cindy, that bike is still there. So
I can lift it off. Okay, let me reverse, thank you.
Yeah, the whole discussion is facade, really. I should peddle my ideas also.
It's going downhill.
Hey, it's when it's a short meeting, there's no more time for that.
Yes, one coming from Mark.
I'll stop now.
Well, Cindy wants the bike there, and I don't want to derail her.
I don't want it there, I was just commenting, it was making me feel old.
okay. Well.
My work here is done.
Okay.
I'm still curious about it being over the top of the bicycle. Somehow it's sealed, obviously, at the top, right?
No, it's not going to be sealed. It'll remain open to elements, but we're just doing the facade skin, so visibly from the front of the building, from the street.
So it's open at the bottom as well. Right?
It'll be joined at the building, so it'll be a very seamless, smooth look. It'll appear integrated when it's installed.
Okay.
So your concern is that how about if there's humidity and all that stuff? Is that what you're thinking of?
I was just wondering where water goes. Yeah.
Yes.
It's all right.
Well, so the naming business is now the Chocolatarian, right?
Next door, yeah.
Next door. And are they going to still have kind of that white? Have they changed their building facade from this picture?
No.
Did all under common ownership?
Oh, I'm sorry. That might be a street view image. Yeah, that's not there.
Yeah, they have kind of a darker exterior.
Right.
Yeah, so this will presumably match or look good to that.
It'll be a lot closer. Yeah.
No, they don't have they are different owners.
Right.
So you think there should be some matching of the colors there? Is that what you're thinking?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
And again, what's lighting the sign? The one on the facade? Nothing.
It'll be a channel letter lit. The letters will be lit.
The letters will be lit and the logo above.
Just the logo letter, yes, and that kind of sun shape.
Okay.
Correct.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
Ice and chocolate.
Okay, other questions? Okay, I'm going to, the motion is to approve this, the sign for the bike shop. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So it's passed unanimously, so, all right. So the next one is,
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you.
Specific implementation plan for stage, coach, trail, apartments, J.T. Klein and Company. Ali, you want to take it or Mark? Okay.
You may be familiar with this project.
Little bit.
Previously, in November, the council approved the general implementation plan, and Jacob Klein is here tonight seeking approval for the specific implementation plan. Because so many details were provided at the GIP stage, we recognize the elevations from then that are, as I understand it, remaining the same. There might be a door next to the garage, I think, is probably an addition, because I didn't see that originally. So the real change that you have, the details that you have that are new are landscaping plan. There's been some modifications, specifically the western and northern edges. The applicant has worked with Alder Susan West, who is also here, and to make sure that the screening is compatible with what the neighbors are interested in. There's also a 6-foot-high privacy fence along the west and north lot lines, atop retaining wall which extends up to a height of 4 feet in 1 or 2 places. What else is there? So, and then there were also some changes with the erosion control and stormwater management, which the Water Resources Management Commission has reviewed and approved. Am I missing anything, Jacob? Right. So we are recommending, we feel that the SIP is consistent with the GIP, and we recommend that the Commission recommend approval to the Council contingent on resolution of engineering staff and any planning commission comments. The engineering staff are still doing their review, so we will not put it on the council agenda until they finish their review.
So why are you pushing? So what is the engineering department?
Well, they just have, they have always a standing list of technical issues with most projects, so I don't see any policy issues.
Okay.
And it's not uncommon that there's still some outstanding technical issues to resolve.
Yes, sir.
Can you remind me where we are on the traffic impact?
That was approved last, the TIA found that it's completed.
Okay.
And it did not make any recommendations specific to the site.
Specific to the site. I would still like to at least publicly ask Public Works eventually to consider dead-ending Old Creek. I know that's adjacent to the development, it's not necessarily part of the development, but I still think that might be, that was some of the concern raised, and I still think that would be probably a good thing to consider. But I just wanted to get that out there.
The TIA actually did look at that at Old Creek, and I felt, and I think Eileen would agree, that that's not related specifically to this project. So
it's not specifically to the project, but it'd still be a good recommendation to consider.
It was appropriate that the TIA looked at it because they were studying traffic in the area, so it was appropriate.
And did they recommend eventually dead-ending Old Creek?
No, I think it recommended if necessary, a right-in,
right-out.
Right, but it's been months since I looked at it, and I don't recall.
It was a kind of dead-end discussion.
Could you ask for this approval?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Just making a motion, you can still talk
Okay,
about it.
I'll wait.
If somebody wants to second it.
I'll second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't we talk, a long time ago about dead-ending Old Creek?
I think it's been talked about before, yeah, in various times. And it was talked about by Public Works just very briefly. I don't know if it actually did anything or just restricting left turns.
When we
But
made it Old Creek and...
probably at that point, yeah, which was
I just brought up, I know a homeowner who lives on Old Creek. She said most of the homeowners would actually be pretty appreciative because traffic on there comes pretty heavy and there's a lot of police activity because people trying to turn left, it's a mess.
Yeah,
I think we thought when Old Creek was designated and when the four-way stop sign was put in at Franklin, right, that most people would choose to go through there rather than to make that left turn onto the Century, but they don't. You're right.
They come flying down that hill.
Yeah.
So you'd like Public Works to look at that?
Yeah, I mean, can we even make a motion to?
Can't you?
Well, it's not really related to this.
Yeah, it's not related to this.
Oh, I see. Well, maybe, yeah, future.
There is a motion on the floor, so we
We can
can't
put it on a future agenda.
But you remember, one of the things that the Public Works looked at is, prohibiting the left turn during a certain time frame.
Right.
And that was the part of TIA, and I guess it didn't go anywhere.
That was prohibiting left turn out of this.
Onto that.
Yeah, right?
No, it was a left turn from Century onto Old Creek.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with my...
Yeah, I know.
Right, from Century onto Old Creek. Or from Old Creek onto Century.
No, it was Century on the Old
Century on the Old Creek.
Yes.
And I guess...
Well, you want to prohibit, you'd have to prohibit it also from Old Creek onto Century.
Well, they didn't do that.
Which is also a problem.
It was just one, only from Century. And I guess it did come as a part of the TIA, but, it was the recommendation of TIA, but I guess it didn't go anywhere.
But the TIA doesn't recommend right in, right out on your project.
Correct. It was just like, this is a outstanding, this is a...
Microphone, sorry. For his recording.
It was more like, it's just a current condition. It didn't have anything to do with, my apartment building. It was just the existing condition there, because obviously, why would they require a left turn lane or a left turn only onto Oak Creek when my building is?
Yeah, when your building's not on Oak Creek.
It wasn't related.
No, it wasn't relevant to this lot.
So related to your building, you've committed, no, you have suggested a very comprehensive landscaping plan. Right? We're talking about decent sized trees going in, well, more decent sized trees. The landscape plan is the thing that usually gets cut when the budget gets tight. Do you have a commitment to doing the landscaping?
Yeah, I mean, whatever is in the SIP is what'll get built.
Second one, it seems that you have redefined north. Is that correct?
I don't think it was me. I'm not going to take the full blame on that other than...
Young drafters.
Okay.
And me not looking over before I sent it in.
Okay, I pointed that out too.
Okay.
You beat me to it.
The number of points that are reduced in the plan, number of points, is that mainly because of the fencing, or is some of the trees been removed inside the parking lots, or?
I don't think it changed that much from the GIP. I think maybe Mark might have been comparing it to one that was like a while ago. When we met with Susan, we moved one of those swamp white oaks that was like in the northeast corner. We moved that south, and where we moved it south, we got rid of 2 Black Hills spruce, I believe.
The stormwater plan, I think, affected, some modifications that they made also affected the landscaping points. They're still double what is required, they're over double than what's required. They're required 360 points, and they have 876.
What is that, 876, some of it's the building?
I was just going to add that. So some of that is counting screening around the building, but it's definitely sufficient. I mean, most of the parking area is screened from the street and from surrounding properties just by how the lot lays out, because the parking lot is sunk relative to the adjoining houses, and it's also behind the building. So the parking lot screening is very adequately, it's more than adequate. It's very well screened.
I just wanted to point out, we're also working with Susan Bry, who has the house that's immediately to the west, because we're running that 6-foot Trex fence, along the property line. We're also working with her. We're going to landscape her side of the fence with like foundation plantings and that type of stuff. So that is additional stuff that doesn't show up as far as the points go.
Jacob, you're also going to work with David Brown, or David?
David, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Just so that my understanding, Jacob, the grey area at the bottom of the elevations, that's slope, right?
You want to
Look
go
at
there?
page A200 on your submission here.
From
Your
sidewalk to building? Is that what that is? Because these steps finish in mid-air.
It's the parking. Yeah, that's what I think that's just.
Is the expert?
I think that's just
This
where the
piece
grade
here,
comes in.
all this here, that is slope, right?
So this, this is supposed to be brick, is what the grade here is. This is grade way down here, so this is all exposed. This will all be masonry brick, this grade.
Oh, okay.
And then the same here, it's a computer.
So what happens to this stair?
The stair gets wrapped in brick also, so it's all masonry.
No, I mean, it's not coming down to the ground, that's why.
Well, this is the south elevation.
Yes, south elevation.
This is called the east.
Probably better off to the.
We like to make it confusing.
Yeah.
We're just searching for direction.
That's what happens when you have young directors.
You guys are on a roll tonight.
So, no, it'll come to grade. This is a better, more accurate depiction of a what's going on. So this is the backside you're talking about, all that gray. This is all masonry.
Okay.
So because of the topography,
Do you want to show them? Do you want to show them the same diagram just so they know what you're talking about?
So it doesn't read well. The question is, what is this gray here? That's actually exposed building. It actually would be brick. It shows up better under color. It's actually what you're looking at here. This is the interior, so it's gray, and then 2D. This is, but it's all brick. It's exposed part of the foundation because of how the site slopes. But it will be this was in here, so it just hard to cast drawings don't.
The retaining wall is on the west is 4 feet tall. The fence is in front of that retaining wall, right? It's on top of that.
Right.
So it'll be 10 feet tall
So
On the west side,
on the west side.
facing that. And the homeowner okay with that?
The homeowner's only going to see 6 feet.
I was going to say, no, the 10 feet isn't all.
So it's not, at grade, it's 6 feet higher than grade.
The natural grade.
Than the natural.
Yeah, because they're looking down. And that was part of, I mean, part of the concerns they had was that the car lights are coming out from the underground parking garage. And, you know, there's those single family homes on Oak Creek, and so with this, it'll prevent that from having a light affected. I mean, it's an extremely expensive fence, so.
It's the same one you put in at Meadow Ridge.
Yeah.
So what is it, black, white, what color?
I think it's called woodland brown.
Yeah, it's a darker brown. It's at Meadow Ridge. You can see the exact same thing on that.
Yeah, it's like a composite wood material, so you don't have to paint it.
Yeah, so.
Tell us about, oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell us about the stone.
Not the stone.
The brick?
Is it brick?
Yeah. So,
Sorry, my eyes are not good enough.
we brought sample boards, so it's like a cream brick, and then there's 3 siding colors, so. And this is like a cement board.
So you want to pass it along maybe?
Sure.
Yeah, so the colors and the materials, again, go back to the historic design criteria, whatever we call that, which in that was, again, when using some of those examples, we try to use the Cream City brick style of masonry, which is historic, as well as one of the requirements in there was earth tone siding, so we're not using blues and greens and whatnot. And so we're using the grays, kind of make it different than all the brown and tans that are out there. Windows will be white with the historic grille pattern, which is shown in the drawings. So again, trying to stay very traditional.
So the peak roofs are the dark?
So where it comes out, yes, the gables, so kind of the bump outs are the darker gray siding, if you will, which has the gables, yes, that you're seeing. The recesses, kind of the inset parts of the decks are the lighter gray, and there's a few accents, and then all the trim.
Spandrel walls, panels.
Yeah, and then all the trim and accents are that lighter, the lightest color there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to pass it along? Oh, I can pass it.
David's okay with it now.
You want to look at them or you want to pass it? Now, David, one of the big questions that you had was, the elevation and design, and is it exactly what you had agreed to now? Or is it
Not exactly what I agreed to, but I mean, I like it. I think it's a vast improvement in the way we work.
So you like the way it is?
I think I'm happy with the way it is.
So
I do think that just it does seem to me still that there is more slope on Century Avenue than you're showing. You're convincing me that it's
Yeah. It's not as, I mean, the drawings are, the color drawings are accurate.
The front part of the parcel is flatter, it's focused
yeah,
further
and
back.
then it really, which is why if you look along the side, that'll be the trail side, if you will, there's so much exposed basement.
The east side, which is labeled, I think. No, just the width of the site on Century.
Yeah.
It seems to be not steep enough.
It's, I can only tell you it is, we built it in the, off the top.
Well, from previous time, I noticed that there were 5 issues. The stormwater, it looked like the stormwater issue is very well addressed. After that boring, you found out that the northwest works very well and northeast doesn't, and the stormwater committee has taken care of that. That's pretty good. The second was the landscape. It was making sure that the neighbors don't see this building quite as much, so now there, what I saw is that you have reduced the ROID. It was supposed to be, I don't know where it was supposed to be. Is there a reason why you reduced it, eliminated it, or whatever you did?
I think that the arborvitae was taken out
along the west end, right?
Yeah, but that was before, I believe that was before the SIP, or before the GIP submittal. I think that might have been off of a previous plan, but regardless, to run the fence between the curb, I mean, that I'm guessing that's what got rid of that.
Pradeep, are you referring to the arborvitae that were along the west lot line between the parking lot, the drive?
I went through some of these discussions, and it was supposed to be there. It just said that they have taken out some of it, and I don't know why that is. So, and also along the west, I think they have the retaining wall, and they were supposed to be arborvitae on top of that, or somewhere around there. So
what I found previously was they had arborvitae at the bottom of the retaining wall, but once you have a retaining wall and 6-foot fence on top, the arborvitae is not going to be visible.
So once you have fence, you don't need it.
I mean, if anything, this would be providing some softening of the retaining wall and the fence from the residents of the apartment building, but it's also a fairly narrow space. It's only a few feet. So that's probably not very much width for an arborvitae to flourish.
If you want me to get rid of the fence and go back to the arborvitae, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Well, whatever you have, I agree to it. But you're trying to make that neighbor also very happy that you're planting something along this time. So the other was, they had raised the issue of lighting, and I guess you're addressing that, so that there will be lighting will be minimized somehow, right?
Yeah, there's a lighting plan.
It's the next sheet. Yeah. I don't recall that ever being an issue. I did look at it. It's using a full cutoff fixture, and the foot candles I found acceptable. They were very minimal, down to, actually, maybe this isn't the right sheet. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the neighbor's property.
Those things are smaller.
Yeah. 1.8, the highest is right where the driveway interfaces with the street. That's 2.2, and it was on their side of the lot line, so I was okay with that.
Okay.
Foot candles.
So the one issue was then the cars when they are coming or leaving, and you are addressing that issue as well. Okay.
The fence on the west, how far when does it stop before the sidewalk? Does it come right up to the sidewalk?
No, Mark and I went through this on the last one. What is it, Mark? 10 feet or something like that?
Oh no, it should be more than that. It's got to be the fence. It can't be forward of the front face of the facade. So I would say your setbacks at 20, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the fence will be. Looks like it does come forward slightly.
We have a couple people over here that are thinking that this brick is kind of cool looking. It looks more like concrete instead of the warmer cream color that we, associate with the Stan house. Do they make something in that range? Because I think still these other colors would go fine with it, but this just looks colder. And I'm not sure why.
That was kind of what we picked based off of the elevations. If you want to have, put it in Mark and Eileen's court to look at a couple other bricks or whatever, I'm open to picking a different.
I think it would really tie it in nicely into the neighborhood. And cool colors are always kind of put it off-putting, But I think if it was just a little warmer, it would be a nice in-between. It's a nice combination. The buildings look very handsome. Is that be a big problem for you to try and find something?
No.
Does the other side of the table agree that?
Sounds good.
Tie it into Sam's.
Yeah.
The Sam House, Dennis, the Sam House originally wanted it to look different and asked for dark colored brick at the public meetings.
Well, that would almost be an improvement, although I don't think any of us want to go that way, but this is
across
a later,
the street.
This is a later color.
They asked for. But why?
But now we have the historic
They
district
wanted to look different.
design guidelines.
I think, yes.
That,
I agree.
Yeah.
I think I'd be more interested in looking at how does it fit the design guidelines.
I think.
And it does fit the design guidelines?
Yeah, again, I think we're committed to the cream colored brick, if you want to call it the old blocky cream or whatever you want to refer to it as. I think that goes and plays well with the dark siding, that contrast. So, we can definitely look at other samples in that range. I don't want to go to the darker or to anything else.
Can we amend the motion to authorize staff to make the decision on this? See a couple samples?
Yeah.
We might run it by I made the motion, so I agree.
Are you agree?
We might run that by our planning consultant too, since he was helping us with the design guidelines.
It's costing money.
Okay, other questions or comments?
Okay, with trash removal?
Trash is in the basement. So all the, it's at the far end, just inside the overhead garage door. So all of the trash, truck and maneuver and everything will be on our property, and which is very critical. So and with the circulation design for fire truck turning and whatnot, they'll be able to come in, turn around, maneuver.
And you push the trash.
Yeah, they actually have.
Okay.
I don't want to prolong this discussion much longer, but the issue with water and reading the minutes of water resources, it confused me because we were jumping through a whole lot of hoops, and then if that didn't work, the end result was going to be we were going to put it in the storm sewer. So I wonder why is this an issue to begin with? Why don't we just put it in the storm sewer?
As opposed to the bioretention basin?
Yeah.
I think it's
Well, not that,
but in this
the
case-
water detention basin, but for the overflow.
It's kind of because what I took out of the whole thing is that it just doesn't make sense. Because that boring doesn't make logical sense.
No, I agree.
Because of where the creek is and where we hit water at the other borings, for the water to be that high at that boring, led everybody to believe that there's it's because it's clay, there's some that it hit a perched pool of water, and that's why that boring came up. So what they're saying is, with the water at that level, there's no infiltration, technically, but that they didn't really believe that that's where the actual groundwater is.
So why didn't they, okay. Yeah, Susan, you have some questions or comments or what?
I was concerned about Dennis's comment on the storm sewer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Dennis, so in this case, they are paying fee in lieu. I guess that won't have.
Well, right, but I'm just saying that the Water Resources Commission's solution to it was if there was a problem, that we're going to put it in the storm sewer. So I think they should just go ahead, and I mean, I don't think that we should worry about it.
Sure, yeah.
But as long as there is some
Where
connection.
does that storm sewer discharge? Is it the one that discharges into the creek?
Yeah, I think that's what it was going to do, it's going to go into the creek. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And that was some of the concern of the natives, right? Is that you get some erosion and flashing of the stream.
But they dealt with the design that minimizes that.
So do you still have some concerns about
Oh,
that?
no, I don't have any concerns at all. I thought the whole thing was kind of silly.
So the staff is going to make sure that you share the
What's the schedule?
Schedule for starting construction? Right now, we're scheduled to close the loan somewhere between the 15th and 31st of March. So
sometime in spring.
yeah.
And you said that the Lisa Lane development, you were doing hand in hand, hoping to do hand in hand. Is that true?
Yeah, we're hoping to use a lot of the subcontractors that are doing Oak Ridge on this one. So we can kind of, it hasn't been working out exactly. That's more detail, but it wasn't. I haven't been seeing the economies of scale that I was hoping for with doing them both relatively short period of time. But that is what it is.
Well, Kurt?
So I realize it's late in the game. It's called Stagecoach. Is there going to be any design that gives any hint of like a hitching post or something? I mean, like there's no metal ridge. I mean,
I thought that they had
There's a chicken.
there's no roosters in Stonefield. Well, there are stones in the
There
field.
used to be some.
They had something on the elevation. I thought by the front door there was something.
There was upon a time in one of the versions there was a wagon wheel and.
I mean, I don't.
We just got a lot of pictures of John Wayne in the hall.
It's called Stagecoach, so it's.
Okay, all right, so the motion is to approve the SIP for Stagecoach Trail Apartment, so,
And to recommend approval to the council.
yes. Any other questions? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So the motion passes. All right, we are on to SIP and design review for Inspire Early Childhood Learning Center on Uncle Road.
We have several applicants here who will inspire us, I'm sure. And I actually didn't write the comments for this. I think
No, I did.
Eileen did, yeah.
So I was just passing out an email from Tom Wilson, the town administrator. Their town planning commission took this up last night. They approved it, conditioned on approval of the SIP, subject to the original conditions in the resolution that the town passed, and maintain final design review for all signage, landscaping, and outbuildings. And I think I just asked, before the meeting, I asked the architects to maybe talk a little bit about parking. We don't have a provision in our parking specifications for daycare. They have 60 spaces, which I'm sure day-to-day is probably just more than enough, but I wanted them to talk about what happens when they have like events, and then maybe a little bit about how the day-to-day does function, just to ensure that there's enough. But anyway, otherwise, the recommendation is to approve it as the town of Westport Planning Commission approved it.
Mhm.
This is also going to the joint committee on Thursday. And it's going to the council on January 2nd.
And maintain final design, review of all signage, landscaping, outbuildings.
Yes, there's a barn that's proposed, and they're
Right,
going to make a few changes to that.
So that's still, that wouldn't be in tonight.
That wouldn't be tonight. They would come back for that, those aspects of it. But it would be the SIP itself and the design and the location of the building and materials and.
Can I just also raise the question that was transmitted by email this morning between you and Tom Wilson, or that Terrence had written. the idea of
Yeah.
making sure that the has a barn sort of look rather than a metal sort of building. And Tom from the town had written back that the plan commission at the town wanted that by saving final design review on the building, wanted more of a barn feel. So if you can at least address that.
As far as the main building or the barn?
No, just the barn.
I think.
You want to say anything, or?
That's what they were talking about.
They were fine with the main building, and I think.
Oh, the yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, other questions about this?
Just to move along, since there does seem to be general consensus on this, I'll make a motion to approve this.
Need a second?
And you make it
recommend
approval subject to
yeah. All the conditions with the best as in addition to that, this couple of other things.
And also, maybe just a discussion of the parking, just to ensure that.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Right.
Yeah, Eileen, if I can.
Can you use the microphone?
Okay.
Little Explorers is obviously a little, gets tight during the big event. So we do have a large area that's going to be overflow parking. We're figuring maybe 190 cars.
Wonderful.
Total.
Okay.
So that should more than take care of it.
Yeah.
We learned our lesson on the first time.
And I figured there was probably a plan, but that's good. And that's something real.
And just to be clear on that, we talked about that, and thanks for raising the topic.
Could you go to the microphone, please?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry.
Thanks for raising the topic. We talked a little bit about perhaps parking off to the side of that long entry drive. That is not the intent. We have a large sports field off of that. We think we can comfortably get 130 cars plus the 60 cars that are
ought to
already planned
cover
for.
back to school or whatever. Nice, right, you know.
So what is your capacity here? How many students you are expecting? Or how many children?
Children, 200, around 250.
250.
Yeah, well, it'll be licensed for 223. There'll be some part-time children that come and go not on the same day. So 223 max on any one day, but there might be 250, 300 children that come.
Well, look like a very impressive facility.
The building looks very nice, and it's a very nice layout too.
Thank you.
And also it will be great for the kids. You know, I think overall it looks really nice. What do you think, David?
Well, I expressed concern about the landscaping getting pushed to the end of the previous scheme. You have a by far more ambitious landscape program.
There's a lot of land there.
There's a lot of land, and what you're talking about is a lot of landscape. Tree planting. Right.
We really want it to fit in really well with Governor Nelson State Park, and so a lot of it's going to be natural prairie grass, kind of a restoration.
There are 5 evergreens of some kind. I can't remember what they were. 2 spots. I wonder what triggered those locations for those. Just goes tree, evergreen, in just 2 places.
I'll let Blake answer that.
So it's a pattern. We're still working through all the details of the landscape plan, but the concept is to screen the perimeter. We know that there's housing on both sides, so we're trying to be sensitive to those neighbors. So I don't think they'll end up in a perfectly straight row as they're shown.
Right, okay, looks good. I agree with the comment about the barn looking more barnish than the utilitarian building. You seem to have done that with the rest of the building. You know, is a elegant building. Doesn't look like a tin-sided steel, metal-sided hut. With the rest of the building. Cost? I don't know.
Cost is one factor. We have a metal pole shed at Little Explorers, and it looks agricultural to me. And I know that Westport was looking for some agriculture there, so that's kind of what we talked about. We also talked about something a little bit more with the building, but It sounds like we need to be very careful of how we design.
Well, and that concern, that email came from the Bishop's Bay properties.
Right. Yeah, I think he was saying hardy board or.
Yeah, hardy plank or even reclaimed wood. But there's someone who does reclaimed barn wood around in Keys.
There was just one other thing that I had about the sign, and I guess that'll, now we've said that'll come up later.
Sure.
But the sign, two things about the sign. I think the letters ought to be not vertical, but related to the curve. If you're going there, right? And the whole thing seems too thin somehow. No, it's not a ranch entrance gateway. It's not.
Oh, you're talking about the gate entry?
The gate entrance, yeah.
Okay.
It's sort of flimsy. I would have thought it needed to be a bit more gutsy, a bit more beef to it.
It doesn't inspire you.
It doesn't inspire me. I'm not going to talk at all to my colleague here. Or this will keep going forever.
Well, that's certainly what I like too. There is some budget constraints. We did really want to put everything we could into the building. I would certainly try and beef that up a little bit if I can too.
Oh, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, other
The
questions?
building looks great.
Thank you.
Dennis, you have some questions, looks like.
Well, I was just going to say that I wish that all presentations came in looking like this. This is very nice. You gave a real flavor of what you intend to do. You covered, even though you didn't cover all of the landscaping issues, you covered so much more than so many people bring in. And this building is an extremely handsome building, and I think Mr. Wright would be very proud. Even if it isn't complete, it doesn't have a flat roof. Yeah. No, it's really very nice looking, and the presentation is great.
And also the lettering is such that you can actually read them without the magnifying lens. Yeah, some of the others I have to have so this is pretty nice at least.
Yeah, when we take office in the planning commission, we should get a magnifying glass.
That's a good idea, actually. I'll try to put that.
Since we are bound to the 17 by 20, no,
Yeah.
11 by 17 drawings, yeah.
I did have to smile at your elevation, or your cross site sections with the little building. There's a just in there, right? I'm not sure what it's showing us. But it looks good.
What it's going to look like from a distance.
Cindy, you have some questions, comments? Kathy?
I think it's very nice.
Okay. Kurt? Any final questions? Well, I'm very impressed. I was reading it middle of the night and it was really good reading, so.
Thank you. Well, I hope when we get open, you're equally as impressed by the program.
Yeah, and I think there will be a lot of lucky kids, it's such
Are you
a...
really gonna have zebras there?
We are.
In Wisconsin?
Yep.
Seriously?
Yep.
Seriously?
Yep. Yeah, I've connected with 2 people in the Madison area that have had zebras, kangaroos. I believe she had a camel as well. We're working through the exotic animal licensing part of it. We want this to be a place where kids are inspired. They have wonderful things to learn about, so that's what we're doing.
Kurt, zebras at the zoo too.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Okay, the motion is to pass the SIP for Inspire Early Childhood Learning Center. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So the motion passes. Okay, guys, go and build it, so.
They gotta go to the council.
Oh, yeah, I guess I don't need to go to the council, so. Okay, the last item is set a public hearing for proposed Gen VIP for the airport ring park.
So moved.
It will be set January 23rd at 7:05.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, there you go.
You can't just say so moved, you gotta put some.
You got it, yeah, there you go.
Okay, any questions? The motion is to set a public hearing for airport road business spot on January 23rd at 7 p.m. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that's done. So we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Happy holidays and